but it was going well. And then I was hit by a very strong contrast, very, very strong. And I've been trying to utilize what you've sort of been teaching in trying to distract myself. Let me tell you, it's a challenge. It is really a challenge because the contrast is very, very strong. I seem to be like, it's like a wave. I'm out of it, and then I'm in it, and then I'm out of it, and it's sort of. So I don't know what you would advise. Still just try and distract myself, keep on telling myself that it's all going to work out.
Sweetheart, the only reason things don't work out is because we keep thinking in opposition to what we want. And what that means is when you talk about the problem, when you think about the problem, you give it more energy and then it can't go away. My advice to you is going to be to do the 40-day workout, and during these 40 days, only ask for you to be happy. Because understand, this is one of the turning points in my life where I actually got it and I started getting consistently good results with law of attraction, was because I understood that if I only ask the universe for joy, for happiness, then the universe has to give me everything along the way that's going to get me to that point. So I don't need to ask the universe for a solution to this problem. I don't need to ask the universe for a solution to this problem or this problem or this problem. All I need to ask the universe to help me with is to find happiness. Because we think, see, this is the thing, our mind leads us astray because our mind has access to limited information. Our mind cannot see all the options that are available to us from here. That's what I say, it's the difference between the forest and the trees. We see the trees, right? And because we see the trees in front of us, it seems like there's no way through this jungle, but there's always a way. And just because we can't see it doesn't mean that the way does not exist. It's like a road in the middle of a dense fog. Just because there's fog doesn't mean the road does not exist. It's still there.
Yes.
So, but we cannot find the road because we are staring into the fog. If we stop staring into the fog and we close our eyes and we say, okay, take me by the hand and lead me, we can find the road because the universe can see everything. Because the universe can see through the fog. We cannot. Okay? Here's what I want to give you some specific advice. And that is, your thought will go towards the problem. And that is because that problem is real to you. And it's okay. The minute your thoughts go there and you realize that they have done so, in that moment, you need to say, not doing this. I know that doing this is harmful to what I want to accomplish. So stop, 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 stop. Tell yourself, stop. And then tell yourself, my intention, I'm doing the 40 days. My intention is to ask for happiness. So universe, I don't know what needs to happen in order to get me there, but I know that you know. And not only do you know, but you also have the means. You have the resources to take me there. So I'm going to get out of the way because I know that I am getting in the way. So I'm going to get out of the way and let you control the process. In the meanwhile, I'm going to look at something different. And here's the key, folks. Here's the key. It does not matter if you focus on a pen. I can focus on this pen, and all I have to do is to start describing this pen to myself in detail. And when I do that, I'm eliminating all other thoughts from my mind. It's as simple as that. I know it sounds too simplistic It's like, how can I solve my problems, Zara, if I only focus on the pen that's in front of me? And yes, you can. You know why? Because even though you think that you're multitasking in your mind, you cannot multitask in your mind. Your mind only thinks one thought at a time. But it does so very quickly. It goes very fast. And because it goes very fast, it feels as if we are multitasking, but we are not. So if all we could do was to focus on something, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a rock. But if you could just find a way, you don't even have to appreciate the rock. You don't even have to, because when we are down there in the depth of there's no light in my world, it is really hard to find a thought of appreciation. But you can absolutely find a thought of describing something. Just its characteristics. This is a yellow pen. It is a fluorescent yellow pen. It has a funny kind of a shape that reminds me somewhat of a rocket. And I like it. I like this color. I like highlighting with it. And now I'm going to pick up the next thing in front of me, and it's this bottle. I like water. I love water. And I love having a bottle of water always close to where I am. Look at this bottle. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's just right. I like the taste of this water. I like that it is clear and feels clean and refreshing. I like the temperature of this water. That's all. That's all. That's all and then move on to the next thing. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. It's not about appreciating. I know I went to appreciation, and that's because it's my habit. But I've trained myself over so many years, folks. I did not start there. And there are still times in my life where I get caught up with things. And I'll tell you something. The more you start living in the vortex, which is the top level of the emotional scale, the more you feel it when something that you don't like happens. Contrast becomes magnified because life is so good that when something not so good happens, it feels like the end of the year, the end of the world. Think about little children. You know why they throw tantrums? Because they live in the vortex. Up, high up, enjoy. So when something happens that they don't like, to them it's like the end of the world. So that's why they throw a tantrum. And then and I've been guilty of this because I didn't know what was going on. But when my daughter used to throw a tantrum, I used to get upset with her. Instead of understanding that it was a tantrum because she had lost her place high up on the emotional scale, and all you need is distraction. When you lose your place on the emotional scale, you just need to distract yourself. And describing a pen is not a bad way of going about it. Because if you can just spend 2 minutes describing just objects, here's my glasses, I love my glasses, right? Whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as you can keep yourself off the problem for 2 minutes, you've given the universe an opportunity to find the way. Okay? And that's why we do all the exercises in this workbook. We do them because while we are doing the exercises, we are distracting ourselves from our life. Because I discovered this when I was going through a really bad time, was that the reason the bad time was not changing was because I was thinking about my life. And thinking about my life was not the answer. I had to get off the subject of my life onto something else. And then the universe would be able to help me.